I just explained to my mother that I just didn't want to be there anymore, and I wanted to be with the rest of my family and my other brothers. And within the week, my father moved back in with my mother. And yes, we can look at it and say it's tragic, but because he did, they were able to find out what he had been doing to me. When there's abuse in the home, the enemy of our souls, he's waiting for us to get outside of the home, that place of refuge. And he has 1,000 places for you to go so that he can begin to try to tear down everything in your life that God wants to build. There were a lot of us as teenagers, we were out trying to fill the holes that were in us. And so we were using pot, drinking beer, drinking wine. That became a way of escapism for me. You know what? So what? I might get a beating, but you know what? I'm gonna go get high, and I'm not even gonna think about it. I got into using LSD and acid and mescaline and purple haze and moved on from that. I've tried angel dust and cocaine and heroin and just one thing after another because you're trying to fill that hole. You're trying to fill that space. I was so under the control and the influence of the drug life now that it controlled my life. It controlled my actions, my reactions, and I ended up in jail. My mother, my oldest sister, and my oldest brother all passed away when I was incarcerated. As I sat in my jail cell, I realized that this had to be the end. I took the Bible and threw it in the corner. And I was hollering like, well, what am I supposed to get from that? That's not helping me at all. God was saying, listen, your mom is gone. I'm on the throne. Look to me. And I began to say, okay, you know what? You kind of messed your life up, but there was something inside of me saying, yes, but it's not over. And I started going to classes, because they have 12-step classes and alcohol and other drug classes. And I was sitting there and the guy says, well, is there anything that you would really like to get off your chest or something bothering you? And we sat in a group. And I said, yeah, you know what? I said, man, my father used to beat me, and it had such a terrible effect on my life that, you know, it made me abuse other people. He said, well, would you like to talk to your father about it and tell him? I says, yeah, but, you know, he's dead. And so what we did is we got in a group, and somebody sat proxy as my father when I got up. And it was so liberating. As I said, Dad, you would tell me you love me one minute and you beat me the next, and I get beatings for things that I didn't do. Why did you do these things to me? And you know, and everything. And the answer that I got back from the guy, and I have to believe that God was speaking through the person, and he says, I didn't know any better. I had nothing else to hide now. And I mean, seriously, it was almost like I did like a 50-year sentence, and they just came and opened my door, and I'm still in jail. God is the only one who can fill that space, and he's there now. I don't have to use heroin or marijuana or drugs or any of those things to fill that space, because that's God's place. God is using me to save some lives because of what I went through. When I began to deal with the fact that it wasn't my fault, and that, you know what happened to me is in the past, I can't do anything about it, I might as well move on, and all the stuff and the baggage that came with that, I might well leave it at the foot of the cross too. Once I finally did that, my life changed. Like I'm saying, people saw a change in me. Cornerstone Ministries may not know the terrific impact that they have in the State Correctional Institutes in Pennsylvania. Every Sunday, your programming is watched. We are thankful for Cornerstone, and we know that God has a purpose for you here in this area, and God has a purpose for you in the institutions that you go in. So our prayer is that God broadens those horizons, that you will be able to reach more and more people.